Yeah. Hey. Is that happening locals too? Let me switch over to locals real quick. I'm still dancing over there. No, hold on. What the heck's going on here? It's Skibbison. Bizarre. All right, let me play around here a little bit with the settings. I don't necessarily know why it's doing that. Instead. Any better? There. Check it now. It's very strange because it's not. I don't think it's not a microphone. Still crackling. What is happening? This doesn't make any sense because it's yeah, I'm gonna try something real quick. Check. Any better? Check. No, this isn't a comm. There's a glitch here someplace. It was fine at the beginning, I know. So I just shut off the modem M6. Still echo. Sounds good? Better? Cool. We got it. All right. I don't know what happened there. Sorry about that. Please stop texting me. Please. I have do not disturb on and it's still disturbed. So please, because it gets, you know. All right. So yeah, we're good now, right? He's a hacker. You should know how to fix a microphone. Here now. All right, so we're all fixed up here. Well, now I know what to do if that happens again. And just this Moto M6 is amazing. It's an audio connector. So basically, you get your microphone and you plug it into a machine, and it like synchronizes the audio and does all this stuff. It's actually used for musicians. This is used for musicians too. I got sick of like going and trying to find the. I got to open a window. It's too hot in here. Hold on. Ow. Okay. Sorry about that. It's just hot in here. It was warm today. It's like one of the first warm days in Pennsylvania in a while. And obviously, you know, if you live up here, you still have your heat on this time of the year. But right around now is when you start to switch over to like air conditioning and stuff. But the nights are still nice and cool. So just having a window open is kind of cool. It's actually much better in here now. So sorry about that. But Somebody keeps saying locals is not working. Look, and I'm not going to troubleshoot this all night. The thing that I haven't really done on my show so far is country. Oh, what? Somebody keeps saying locals is not working. Look, and I'm not going to troubleshoot this all night. Yeah, so locals is working. So I don't know. I'm done. I'm done with that. So I got a hell of a show tonight. It's probably going to be a long one. You're looking at about 2 hours from about right now, and that's because it's a lot of content in it. And it's not all my content. I use some content from time to time from other people that I find, and I think the rumble echoing bad. I'm getting really aggravated now. Test, 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 test. Rumble echoing bad. What? I am really aggravated now. What is happening? You know, I wonder what the point of do not disturb is, the setting, when even if you have it on, people could still text you anyway. I don't understand. Like, why? Makes no sense. You doing a little bit better now on the sound? I hate that I'm spending disturb is the setting when even if you have it on, people could still text you anyway. I do think there's a difference here, though. 1 second, please. All right, when I rebooted the microphone switch settings to the camera microphone, and the camera microphone is much worse, as you could tell. So that's fixed now, and I'm back on the Neumann. I was told that it's a Neumann, not a Newman, although it's spelled Newman, like hello, Newman. So now I think it should be perfect. Let me just check. And then we're going to get going here because we already have a long life to begin with. And here I am spending 10 minutes. The microphone is much worse, as you can tell. So that's fixed now. And I'm back on the... Sound better? That sounded glitchy. Crackling. I know. I'm going to lose my mind tonight. Tonight will be the night. I was told that it's annoying. Tonight will be the night. Better? That sounded glitchy. There we go. I think it's good now. Crackling. I know. Good. All right. We're just going to go. We're going to go. We're going to go. We're going to go. There we go. Let's go. All right. So, yeah, we got a lot of content. So I'm going to play a couple things tonight, and I'm going to do a lot of talking tonight about these things. Now, in the beginning, the title of tonight's show is Q phones, as you probably have already seen. But in the beginning, we're not necessarily going to be talking about Q phones tonight during the live stream. We're going to be talking about something completely different, but that is going to translate into the next topic of Q phones. So this is going to be a little bit challenging if you don't have any kind of background on any of this stuff. But it should come all together. You may have to, this is one of those things where you may have to actually watch it twice if you've never heard of this before. This is your first time picking up any of this info. This is probably something that you may want to watch twice. So we'll see. We'll see. but it's going to be a really good show. It's going to tie a lot of things together for you guys. The intel tonight is going to be about Q phones. We're probably going to get to that about an hour and a half in. But if you don't have a background, if you just peace out for the next hour and a half and go watch the Yankee game, Garrett Cole has a bad elbow. That's just great. We're not going to sign anybody anyway because we have all these tax issues, and I'm just going to, I might as well wait for the 49ers to start. It's just crazy. But anyway, if you want to peace out for a little while, you could, but you're going to miss a really good tutorial in the beginning of the show, which all relates to Q phones and quantum technology. And there's a reason why I'm doing that right now, and that's because we are heading towards something, and that's part of the intel tonight too. So I think you guys are going to like this one. Before I get into that, I want to thank everybody who donated to the GoFundMe campaign for Will Bird's nephew. Will Bird's, I think, brother, maybe sister, just had or in-law, not sure, but just had a premature by, I think it was 3 months or that was the first one. There's going to be another one. I think I'm good. Will Bird's nephew was born 3 or 4 months premature, and a couple of the photos that were on GoFundMe were the baby is literally the size of your hand, like head to toe, and it's terrible. I mean, I hate seeing stuff like that, and it really bothered me. So about a week ago, I shared the GoFundMe. It was only at about $1,000, and then I shared it, and then it went up to 5,000 seemingly overnight, and then it kind of just trickled for a little while, got up to about 7,000, but the goal was 10,000. And the reason why they're asking for that money is not because they don't have medical care, but because the parents of the baby want to be with the baby all the time. And that means missing work. That means possibly losing jobs. That means a lot of stuff. So the GoFundMe, we shared it again last night. Thank you, Nick Alvear. We shared it again last night, and that total for the GoFundMe eclipsed $10,000. I think it was almost 11,000 as of today. So hats off to you guys for that. That was an absolute blessing for that family. And I hate seeing stuff like that. I know it happens every single day, and obviously we can't help every single one of them. But at least we could help who we could help. And in this case, we helped a good one, a family that needed it. And I don't know the updates in terms of how the baby's doing. I know Will talked about it a little bit last night on his show. We'll probably just have to keep watching, see what happens there. But obviously, if you can't donate or can't afford to donate, there's nothing wrong with that. But please pray for that little baby. I don't remember the weight and the height and stuff like that, but it was on the GoFundMe. So thank you guys for donating to that. That was definitely special, and it's going to a good cause. So second thing I wanted to talk about tonight before we get into the content of tonight's live was you've seen now over the last week since we mentioned it. I mentioned Nick Alvear, and the reason why I mentioned Nick Alvear is because Nick Alvear thought that by me sharing that GoFundMe, this is how stupid this guy is. I mean, it literally doesn't get any worse than how dumb this guy is, and you're going to see that play out over the next couple months. But he thought that I was sharing that campaign because the donations were actually going to Will Bird. He literally thought that. And he said that. He said the baby thing's probably just the front and blah, blah, blah. Phil's donating and it's going to Will directly. Look, if I want to pay Will, I would just pay Will. Why do I got to do it through a GoFundMe campaign? He's just stupid. He's just a stupid person. I don't know. I didn't actually know how stupid he was until he started talking. Because before all he did was films, right? But now this guy and his idiot minions that think he's great, this guy like literally sits on the edge of his seat and waits for me to do something, and then he responds to it, and that makes him talk more and like send stuff, and he's just completely he's so lost mentally that I almost
Actually, I don't almost. I was going to say I almost feel bad for suing him, but nah. Nope. No, I really don't. But yeah, that's why I mentioned Nick Alvear, because Nick Alvear made a thing out of, oh, well, Phil's doing this only for Will. Bro, I could literally like send a wire to Will Bird right now for $500,000 if I wanted to. I don't got to send $1,000 donation through GoFundMe and disguise it under the guise of a premature infant needs donations, help. Just the dumb. It's crazy. But it's just really crazy. So, all right, that's that. Why don't you guys tell me where you're from and I'll read them. It's a good part of the night. Love doing this. Eduardo Gonzalez Alvear. Yeah, something like that. It's got like 100 names. Ignorant's not even the word for him. I mean, he has words that haven't been invented yet. That's who he is. Great Bend, Kansas. Oneida County, New York. I actually like it there. Elon, North Carolina. Quebec. Yermo, California. California again. Yeah, it wasn't a Give, Send, Go campaign, though. It was GoFundMe. I know they should have used Give, Send, Go. I don't know why they didn't. Albania. That's pretty cool. Lewistown, Illinois. Las Vegas. Cave Creek, Arizona. Oak Lawn, Illinois. Sydney, Montana. Prescott, Arizona. Greensburg, Pennsylvania. Holland, Massachusetts. Santa Monica, California. Piatone. I don't know how to say that. Piotoni, Illinois. Cincinnati, Ohio. Central Maine. Yermo, California again. Different person. Cleveland, Texas. Veneta, Oklahoma. Cleveland, Tennessee. Tucson, Arizona. Beaumont, Texas. Shippensburg, PA. Played a little bit of baseball there. Not like at the university, but against them. St. Paul, Minnesota. Elon, North Carolina. Different person. Strange. Southwick, Massachusetts. Go, Iowa. San Jose. Holland, Michigan again. Different person. Really strange that I'm getting these doubles. Surprise, Arizona. It's like, surprise, you're in Arizona. Not really. Evergreen, Colorado. New Hampshire. Madison, Indiana. Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fresno, California. A lot of West Coasters here. It's early over there, right? Buda, Texas. Outer Banks, North Carolina. Honolulu. Newark, New York. Hate that airport more than anything in the world. Poland. Got a lot of ancestors there. Toronto, Canada. And one more. Barbados. That's a new one. I've literally never seen Barbados on this show before. It's the first time I've seen that. So that's really cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Phil Godlewski. And a lot of people call me a goat. Not because I'm a farm animal. I learned that recently. So. All right, that's enough of the places. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I had my last show was Sunday. Today's Tuesday the 12th. I'm gonna have another one tomorrow and another one on Thursday, and it's kind of gonna all be part of an intermingled, an intertwined topic range on all three of those days: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I will be in Hawaii next week, so. By the way, I understand your concerns about saying, "Hey, you shouldn't be saying you're going to be in Hawaii and all that stuff." I get that, but first of all, the security in all of my properties is literally top notch. Plus, most of the time, I have people staying in my houses when I'm not there. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be tenants, it could be whatever. So I'm not concerned about any of that, because if anyone were to ever try to come on my property, I would know that they're there instantly. And if there's some sort of crime being committed, it's just, it is what it is. Plus my insurance policies are phenomenal. So not worried about that, but I will be in Hawaii next week. I do plan to go live from there. I don't know what day yet. Tomorrow's going to be next week's going to be a little bit of a slower week than this week was. So this week you got Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, 4. Next week you're probably only going to have 1, maybe 2. The following week I'll get back into it, maybe a few that week. But yeah, this is definitely the bigger week of the bunch. So I forgot to mention a sponsor on Sunday night show. So I want to get them out of the way right now because I completely forgot about it. So there's this company called the Wellness Company. I'm sure you guys have heard about them. They've been endorsed and promoted by many people, across our community, live streamers, podcasters, whatever. And they have easy access to drugs that we've been talking about for a very long time now, especially since the inception of the COVID pandemic. So they got ivermectin, they got Z-Pak, they got amoxicillin, they got many more. So if you go over to twc.health, that's TWC for the Wellness Company, twc.health/Phil. The /Phil is important because at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. You could actually, they have a couple kits that they developed. One of them is an emergency medical kit, and it comes with all that stuff in it. But you could actually customize your order to anything that you want. So the Wellness Company is sponsor number one tonight. Thank you for them for sponsoring our show. And if any of that stuff interests you over there, I could tell you that I have that stuff in my my main house is Arizona, Pennsylvania, at all times, and it's it's been a lifesaver. I haven't been sick. I know, like, there was this whole thing going around for a while. Oh, you're always sick. Why are you always sick? First of all, when I told you guys I was sick, I wasn't actually sick. Sometimes I was, but most of the time I wasn't. I was doing other things that we're not going to talk about. But so I said that. But since I've been on the X patches with LifeWave, and since I've been taking all of this stuff, I don't know if you could tell. I could tell when I look at myself in the camera, like my face is different. My skin is different. And it's not because it's a better camera. The better camera would actually make me look worse. The worst camera would make me look better. I know that's oxymoron, not to be confused with an actual moron, Nick Alabir. But the camera has nothing to do with, like, my skin has completely changed. Completely. It's also made me a lot smarter and more handsome. So if you are interested in any of those things, then go right ahead and go to the Wellness Company's website or my X Patches system too, xpatches.philgodlewski.live. We'll get you an appointment. We'll get you on the patches. I'm wearing two patches right now. One of them is an X49. It's right on the base of my neck. One of them is an X39, and it's on my lower back lumbar area. And these things make you feel amazing. And then you couple that with some of the other stuff that LifeWave has that you could get once you have a subscription, plus the other stuff that you could take for your health. I know I promoted Field of Greens before, and now it's the Wellness Company. So this stuff really works, and I think I'm a glaring example of that by my obvious beauty. It's very obvious to me anyway. Most of us don't have your millions. Sorry. Okay. That's a very troll-like comment. No reason to apologize for that. You don't have to say sorry. But I could tell you that you don't have to have millions to do these things. In fact, with the X Patches system, you can make money. But if you're ignorant to that and you just want to complain all the time because you think that you have to be poor and there's no way out, that's on you. We've given you opportunities to get out of there. And if you don't take them, that's on you. It's not on me. It's not on anyone else. It's on you. So. All right, let's go. So tonight is about Q phones and quantum technology. What I noticed the other night was in my Sunday live, I mentioned Q phones. Somebody asked a question in the Q&A, and I mentioned Q phones, and the chat went berserk. And they're like, oh, so I figured out what I could say about Q phones, and I kind of gave a cryptic little, push. And that push was that you already have them. Someone's like, when are we getting them? When are we getting them? When are we getting them? It doesn't work that way. So now I'm going to get into that a little bit more. Keep in mind, there's some stuff that I still can't get into yet. I will when the time is right. But for now, I'm going to tell you what I could tell you. And before we get into the Q phones topic, I want to talk about something that is essential for quantum technology as a whole, let alone quantum phones, Q phones, but also quantum computers, and something that's going to absolutely blow your mind. I think it'll blow your mind. It blew my mind. And I honestly, nothing surprises me anymore. Everything is more like I believe just about anything anymore because so much has been a lie. I mean, I'll look into it to verify, but so much has been lied about that I feel like I'll give any theory a try. Now, the stuff tonight is not a theory. The stuff tonight is a. Let's just get into it, shall we? So, the first thing I'm going to do is put a video on the screen. I think I figured this out so that it makes it better. Oh yeah, before I do that, I'm gonna shut my microphone off. So I'm gonna stop talking for just a moment while the video comes up. Actually, I'm not even gonna do that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you about the video, then I'm just gonna put it on. The video is about an hour-long video about ether. And if you don't know what ether is, you really better devote the next 60 minutes of your life to watching this. This guy's delivery is a little bit different than mine, but he really gets the point across and he hits every nail right on the head that he needs to hit in order for you to understand what ether is, how it's been suppressed from us, and otherwise. Now, one thing I want to tell you about ether, a couple things I want to tell you about ether before I start the video, is that in 1908, got that? 1908. In 1908, they took ether off the periodic table of elements. Why? Why would you do that? Is the timing a little bit strange as well? Is the timing of 1908 a little fruity to you? Because it's fruity to me, and let me tell you why. That was right after the last Great Reset, with the 1800s being the last reset. Why are we removing an element off the periodic table? Well, you're going to find out tonight. Is an element not an element? How could you make a mistake that it's an element? So was there a mistake? We had to take it off? Why'd you do that? Why in 1908? Because the new rulers of our realm came into power after the last Great Reset, and they suppressed everything. They suppressed everything from us. And tonight is going to open your eyes to a whole technology that you've never even thought about. And the good news is we're going to have access to this technology very soon. It's not just about free energy. It is about things that you wouldn't have thought to be able to be in existence. So I'm going to put the video on the screen. I'm going to mute my microphone so that the video plays directly out of the speakers. If I put the video on and keep my microphone on, you're going to get a really bad audio. So I set this up a little bit differently tonight so you get a good audio. And now that I've said that, it's probably going to be really terrible. So we're going to try it anyway. And if it doesn't work, then boo-hoo, we'll figure it out a different way. But here we go. I hear you. No sound, right? Sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. All right, we're going now. Here we go. So everything is working properly, except the YouTube video is not. I should honestly expect this kind of thing to happen whenever I talk about this kind of thing. So let's go back for a minute. Let me. So everything is working properly. Quiet, yo. Except the. Yeah, the video is literally refusing to play now. Isn't that crazy? Just here we go.
Welcome back, peace and love.
All right, here we go.
All. Today we're going to be talking about a very and a very important individual. If you never heard of Nikola Tesla, then you have a lot to learn today. This is going to be a very thorough and extensive video with me.
All right, so I'm gonna switch from Mozilla to Safari. Don't know if this will do any better, but let's try it.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I just keep welcoming everybody back. Bear with me, guys. Once we get this going, it'll be fine. All right, here we go. Yeah, so it's not allowing the video to play. It's remarkable that this is happening. It has nothing to do with sound or like anything else. It's just when I go to click play on that video, it will not play. It will not play no matter what. We try, I'm gonna switch audio to a different source. I'm gonna try using the camera audio. Let me try that real quick, see if it works.
It'll be a very thorough and extensive video with many revelations. So those who stay with me to the end will be in for a lot of eye openers. But before we go deep into that rabbit hole, let's start at the surface. And let's just get some basic information about Nikola Tesla and who he was. So Nikola Tesla was born on July 1856 and passed away on January 1943. He was a Serbian-American inventor, electrical engineer, mechanical engineer, physicist, and futurist, best known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current, or the AC electricity supply system. Tesla gained experience in telephony and electrical engineering before immigrating to the United States in 1884 to work for Thomas Edison in New York City. He soon struck out on his own with financial backers, setting up laboratories and companies to develop a range of electrical devices. His patented AC induction motor and transformer were licensed by George Westinghouse, who also hired Tesla for a short time as a consultant. His work in the formative years of electric power development was involved in a corporate alternating current / direct current war of currents, as it became to be known as the war of currents. And this was between AC versus DC, alternating current versus direct current. And it also encompassed various patent battles. Tesla became a naturalized U.S. citizen in 1891. He went on to pursue his ideas of wireless lighting and electricity distribution in his high voltage, high frequency power experiments in New York and Colorado Springs, and made early pronouncements on the possibility of wireless communication with his devices. He tried to put these ideas to practical use in an ill-fated attempt at intercontinental wireless transmission, his unfinished Wardenclyffe Tower project. In his lab, he also conducted a range of experiments with mechanical oscillators and generators, electrical discharge tubes, and early X-ray imaging. He also built the wireless control boat, one of the first ever exhibited. Tesla was renowned for his achievements and showmanship, eventually earning him a reputation in popular culture as an archetypal mad scientist. He lived most of his life in a series of New York hotels through his retirement, and most of his work fell into relative obscurity after his death. Tesla was also very gifted. In some people's opinion, he was superhuman. He had the ability to very precisely recall images and objects. This enabled him to accurately visualize intricate 3D objects, and as a result, he could build working prototypes using few preliminary drawings. He really worked out his inventions in his imagination, Carson told Live Science. And I'm just going to stop right here and iterate the fact that when we say that he worked out his inventions with his imaginations, I teach a lot of information on this channel about going within to create results without. Every human being was already brought to this earth with everything within them to liberate themselves. And it's just about them going within and knowing thyself, because everyone has something special to offer that is of value. So basically, anything and everything with any form of wireless technology can be attributed to Nikola Tesla. Everything from those first remote control cars we used to enjoy to your cell phone that you love so dearly today. Sending wireless signals is not a new thing. As you know, our world just recently became wireless. But what if I told you that the world was already wireless in Tesla day? And in fact, the symbol we use for Wi-Fi today is none other than the Tesla Tower. And that's kind of ironic when you think about it, that the people who capitalized off of stealing and plagiarizing from Tesla's inventions now use the Tesla Tower as today's symbol for this modern Wi-Fi technology. Or not modern. What if I told you it existed even before Tesla and that it was ancient technology? You see, the Tesla Tower can't be attributed solely to Tesla, because even prior to him, the concept can be seen in many mushroom mythologies. Again, the ancients had science just like we have today. They had electricity and they had everything we have today, even Wi-Fi. The pyramids was a form of Wi-Fi technology, and one of their uses would have been similar to the same way we use cell phone towers and things today. As we get in the middle of this video and we get into Nikola Tesla and his flat earth philosophies, you will understand the basic principles of his technology and why I say the ancients also had this very simple technology that everyone can tap into. And this is what Nikola Tesla wanted to share with the inhabitants of the earth, that energy was infinite and that earth was a realm, not a planet. But again, we'll just start from the surface and then we'll work our way deep into the rabbit hole. So let's continue. The son of a Serbian Orthodox priest who rose to the rank of Archbishop, Tesla had the opportunity to study a variety of topics contained in his father's personal library. As a young boy, he accompanied his father on trips to Rome, where he was able to study the lesser-known works stored in the Vatican's vast scientific repository. So understand that Tesla, because of who he was and who his father was, he had access to a lot of top secret information that many of us would never be able to access, information belonging to the Vatican Science Department. Tesla knew what they was hiding, and the simple truth, the knowledge of the ancients. And Tesla knew this because Tesla, in case many of you didn't know, was a shaman, and he did know about shamanism. And if you research shamanism, you can see that a lot of shaman symbols resemble a lot of the technology that Tesla used. So again, the ancients was aware of this same technology. So did Tesla discover this technology? No, Tesla rediscovered it. So let's continue. After working for Edison Telephone Company subsidiaries in Budapest, Paris, and other cities throughout Europe, Nikola Tesla went to America to meet the man whose company gave him his first job, Thomas Edison. Tesla found it difficult to work for Edison due to Edison's reneging on financial promises, but soon found backers to finance his research and development projects and his new inventions. Over the years, as more and more people begin to recognize the game being played in our society, Nikola Tesla and his story has been becoming more and more popular. This is natural as the increase in people educating themselves outside of the education system leads them to amazing bits of information that otherwise stay hidden. Much of Tesla's life's work was about providing for the world free, zero-cost energy, which Tesla envisaged would be broadcast wirelessly through the air or through the earth itself with no need for power lines. But despite years of trying, he never obtained the funding to achieve this. He really had a vision to free the world of its problems. And just like many of you who are subscribed to my channel, I know myself, sometime I think about the world and I say to myself, man, I just wish things were the way that the Creator intended. And we play a role in making that happen, but we've been crippled with religions that teach us we have genies in a bottle that never show up. And the only way they show up is on the battlefields of bloody war. And that's the only way they've revealed themselves throughout history. So the mind of the human is very valuable, and if we would use our science to reconnect with nature as Tesla did, we could create heaven on earth. A lot of religious people are against that concept because they teach that the earth is cursed. But as we move on in this video, you will understand why Tesla's visions and rediscoveries were so important and why his philosophy and who he was and his reemergence at this time is so important. So understand that it has long since been rumored that Tesla invented or developed a significant number of electrical and electronic devices which were decades ahead of their time and would have been special interest to U.S. military.
So just so you guys know, I know the audio is a little bit different than it was when I had the Neumann mic on before. We're using the microphone on the camera right now, which has a less quality for audio. So a couple things I want to pause, and even though I sound different right now, I know. So don't fill up the chat with, oh, it's echoing. I know that. The one thing I want you to know here so far, this is, like I said, about an hour-long video. He's only 10 minutes in. He's only giving you background of Tesla. What I want to talk about tonight is Ether. And he is going to get to Ether, and I'm going to be making a lot of pauses like this once he does. So just stay tuned.
And intelligence circles. Around 300 patents were issued to Tesla in 25 countries, many of them major and far-reaching in concept. Financiers such as John Pierpont, J.P. Morgan, George Westinghouse, and John Jacob Astor were among those who saw the potential in Tesla's pioneering, entrepreneurial spirit to capitalize on his technological discoveries in electricity, wireless communications, and physics was very strong. Once a lot of his ideas was stolen, a lot of the credit was given to imposters to hide the truth about who Tesla was and what he represented to our Earth and to humanity, what he tried to do. He tried to free everyone from this modern form of slavery. Someone is selling you power. Remember, power is infinite. The Creator created everything with power. It's all around you. Power literally exists in every molecule of existence. And someone is selling something that's infinite, because the tools that are used to generate power can be attributed to Tesla and the ancients. And anyone can make these tools and generate power for themselves without paying. But today it would be against the law because of a lot of these deceivers and financiers who played a part in murdering Tesla and seizing a lot of his books and his writings and science. And today they have brought them to fruition and turned the world to consumers. But Tesla wanted to turn us all to victors and liberated human beings. Tesla's many technological discoveries were certain to have drawn the attention of those hungry for world domination and superiority, and they have so much more control today than they did in Tesla's day, equipped with all of their new technology and trickery that they create the matrix with. But by and large, Tesla's inventions and his career were excluded from our history books because his inventions and patents were stolen and then weaponized. It was never intended for us to learn about the suppression of Tesla's advanced scientific discoveries, nor about those who profited from their theft, the orchestrators of the master plan. Though much has been written about Tesla's success and failures, few have detailed the behind-the-scenes financial activities which disclose a Nazi plot to acquire his technology, while research and development costs had largely been paid unknowingly by U.S. taxpayers. Many of Tesla's patents fell into Nazi hands prior to and during World Wars I and II. As a result, Tesla continuously found himself in litigation over patent rights and other issues. Although he had succeeded in winning the majority of his patent lawsuits, his technology had been repeatedly stolen and sold to the German Nazis and other foreign governments.
So on the screen right now, you see a bunch of scientists. This was back in 1945. This was called Operation Paperclip. And if you haven't heard about Operation Paperclip, I strongly advise looking into that a little bit. We will cover that on a future show. It won't be this week, but we will be covering Operation Paperclip in the future.
So he never achieved the financial success he deserved. Nikola Tesla was beyond a doubt the greatest genius of the 20th century. Our way of life today, the technology that we take for granted, is all possible because of this one incredible man from Europe. However, despite all of his contributions to science, his name is little remembered outside the field of electronics and physics. In fact, Thomas Edison is often mistakenly credited in school textbooks with inventions that were developed and patented by Tesla. Because of Tesla's financial troubles throughout his adult life, he was forced to move from hotel to hotel. He would often leave trunks of documents behind as security for his debts.
So somebody asked in the chat, they said the Earth is not a planet, it's a what? What did he say? A rail? No, a rail. R-A-I-L. It is, Earth is a giant magnetic current. Truthfully, we don't know what's under Earth, but I can tell you what, in general, what it is. It's some sort of electronic mechanism, some sort of coil, some sort of rail system that emits an enormous amount of electricity and radioactive radiation from its core, which powers our Earth. That same emission coming from the Earth's core, which is under the Earth, under a flat Earth, powers the sun. And without the Earth, there would be no sun. And of course, without the sun, there would be no Earth. This is all God's creation. And I like what this man said in the beginning, and I will post this link for you guys to watch on your own after the show. I like what he said in the beginning, that God gave us everything that we needed when he created Earth. We didn't need to invent electricity. We had electricity. We didn't need to invent anything. It was all here already. And what happened is, after the last Great Reset of the 1800s, and Ewar covers a lot of that in his series, and we've gone over that before too, and I'll go over it again in the future. Everything was hidden from us. Everything was stolen from us. And that's where we are today. They hid all of the important technology, disguised it, put it in the form of something else. And as I said Sunday night when we were talking about this, the things that we pay for now, we don't have to pay for. They are free. But yet the cabal runs the world, so we must do it for now.
When you think about this, a lot of teachers go through this. It's really sad, because if you think about what Tesla tried to do for humanity and what he knew and how valuable his brain.
Did he say realm? He may have said realm. I thought he said rail, which would make sense too, but he may have said realm. He's got that accent, so.
He was at that time, and the lack of support that he had from the people who he spent his whole life dedicating his teachings. See, we look for help in all the wrong ways. We look for the government to show up and give us handouts. We would look for these people's help who got us in bondage in the first place, instead of saying, hey, you can help us by not charging me for energy and power, because that's supposed to be free. You want to help humanity, government? But get your handouts. How about you stop charging us for stuff that is free of nature, like water and energy, which is all around you? And this is what Tesla offered to humanity. But because he had a lack of support from humanity, you can see that he had so little support that in order to support himself, he had to sell a lot of his knowledge to these deceivers just to have a roof over his head.
Pisses me off too, the newspaper article on the screen. What's written on top, the in memory of Nikola Tesla, that's not in the newspaper article. The actual newspaper article is down below, and the headline of the article says, Nikola Tesla dies at 85 alone in his hotel suite. You know what I mean? Just to demonize him even more, as if the poor guy who lived to be 85 in a time that no one ever lived to be 85. They had to highlight the fact that this guy was alone in a hotel. That's how he died. Scumbags.
So again, Tesla would leave behind trunks of documents as security to pay his hotel debts. And these trunks, which were eagerly sought after Tesla's death, have become the key to unlocking the mystery of who Nikola Tesla really was and the incredible life that he secretly led. When Tesla died on January 7, 1943, at the age of 86, representatives of the Office of Alien Property, at the request of the FBI, went to the Hotel New Yorker and seized all of Tesla's belongings. 2 truckloads of papers, furniture, and artifacts were sent under seal to the Manhattan Storage and Warehouse Company. This load was added to the almost 30 barrels and bundles that had been in storage since the 1930s, and the entire collection was sealed under orders from the OAP. You know, it's mighty ironic that they would seal Tesla's belongings and seize it after they murdered him, and that it would go to the Office of Alien Property, because what you will find later is that a lot of Tesla's inventions, they ended up attributing those inventions to alien technology.
That's true. What he just said there is true. They tried to say that some of the technology that's out today that was suppressed for a long time was alien technology. Ooh, aliens! They're walking around in a mall in Miami. You know, Simon Parks is checking them out while they're walking around because you never know. Anyway, they tried to say that some of this most recent technology was alien technology, of course, because they want you guys to have that narrative. Keep in mind the first 4 letters of alien. A-L-I-E. A lie. You think that's an accident? No, it's not. So a lot of the modern technology that we have today that the cabal attributes to alien technology is actually the technology of Tesla. And I got news for you. Those documents that were sealed and taken from Tesla, they don't belong to the cabal anymore.
They do with everything else, just like they do with the pyramids. They can't do nothing new. When they don't want to credit someone something, they get.
Hey, if you don't like how this guy talks and the way that he says words, or if you don't like his accent, just tune out, because this is what we're playing. And if you want to make fun of him, shame on you. You're a terrible person for doing something like that.
The credit to aliens. Tesla connects with Adolf Hitler, and the Vimana did a video on the Vimanas. Check that out, because this ties into some of Tesla's technology. So there's a connection there, and there's a cover-up that happened during this time frame. And the matrix that we are in today was being created during these years around from the early 1900s on up to today, even the late 1800s. But like I said, this stuff go all the way back to the ancients. So we will tie it all in as we move on. So just to investigate and get into a lot of more details of what exactly happened to Tesla's work during these raids, I am going to a website called bibliotechapeliades.net. The link to this website is in the description. I'm just going to go over a few interesting points they made here and iterate on it.
One thing I don't like about this particular narrator is when he puts things on the screen, he doesn't really read them. And the one thing that's on the screen right now, I really want to focus on, because it's going to lead us into the ether conversation that we're going to get to very shortly in this film. This is a quote from Nikola Tesla on October 15th, 1911 in the New York Herald Tribune. He says, "My flying machine will have neither wings nor propellers. You might see it on the ground and you never guess that it was a flying machine. Yet it will be able to move at will through the air in any direction with perfect safety." What's that sound like? Does it sound like a flying saucer from outer space? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Tesla knew how to capture certain things that existed in this planet. In fact, he didn't even have to know how to capture them. He just needed to know that they were there. And he knew that they were there. And then he was stopped.
You can go deep into this rabbit hole. So after Tesla's death, there was a scramble by the United States government to find all of his papers, notes, and research before other foreign powers could find him. Tesla's nephew, Sava Casanave, reported that before the OAP had arrived, someone else had obviously gone through Tesla's belongings and took an unknown amount of personal notes and papers. It was known by the FBI that German intelligence had already spirited away a sizable amount of Tesla's research several years before his death. This stolen material, it is thought, would eventually result in the development of the Nazi flying saucer. The United States was going to make sure that this would not happen again. That Nazi flying saucer later became the Vimana mythology. Of course, there's a lot of advanced technology we see in our world today, but a lot of this stuff, as it is told through the myth, has been beefed up to support a lot of spookism in Hollywood movies. A lot of it is stolen and plagiarized ancient concepts. Again, nothing is new. Anything even remotely associated with the great man Tesla was quickly confiscated and lost within the secret networks of pre-World War II America. Nevertheless, more than a dozen boxes of Tesla's belongings left behind at hotels like the Waldorf Astoria, the Governor Clinton Hotel, and the St. Regis had already been sold to salvagers to pay off Tesla's outstanding bills. Most of these boxes and the secrets they contain have never been found. In 1976, 4 undistinguished boxes of papers were auctioned in the estate sale of Michael P. Barnes. Little is known about Barnes except that he had been a bookseller in Manhattan. This auction took place in Newark, New Jersey, with the boxes and their contents being bought by Dale Affrey for $25. Affrey had no idea what was in the boxes when he bought them on a whim. When he later went through them, he was surprised to find what appeared to be lab documents and personal notes of Nikola Tesla. Some of the lost papers of Tesla had once again resurfaced. However, due to ignorance, they were almost lost once again. In 1976, the name Nikola Tesla was not widely known. Affrey had little idea of the importance of the papers he now owned. Going through the incredible amount of material, Affrey at first thought he had uncovered the notes of a science fiction writer. What he read was so incredible that it seemed impossible that any of it was true. Having little interest in what he had bought, Affrey stashed the boxes away in his basement, thinking that he would go through them again later when he had more time. 20 years passed before Affrey would once again find a time to open the strange boxes. Unfortunately, time.
A couple things. First of all, I did say I would post the link, but I'm not going to post it right now because if I do that, you may just wander off and watch this by yourself during my live stream. And I think it's a lot more important that you actually sit there and watch my live stream because of things that I'm going to be commenting on during the live stream. Number 2, what's on the screen right now, it says death ray machine described. It says Dr. Tesla says 2 of 4 necessary pieces of apparatus have been built. Amplifying his birthday anniversary announcement of the prospective invention of an electric death ray or force beam that would make any country impregnable in times of war. Dr. Nikola Tesla says that 2 of the 4 pieces of necessary apparatus have already been constructed and tested. Does anyone want to venture a guess as to what the death ray machine was? This shouldn't be that difficult. Oh, somebody already said it. Is that the do? Yeah. Yeah, that's the do. Back then they called it a death ray. And now we like the term do better. And anytime you see a do, such as what we've seen in Lahaina, what we saw in the AT&T store bombing back in 2020, that one was obvious because you could actually see it like come right down. That video has been suppressed. I still have it somewhere, but that is the cabal using Tesla's technology. And there were 4 aspects to this machine, according to Tesla. And at this time, the time of this article, he had already had half of it built.
Not been so kind to the precious contents contained within. Tesla's lost journals revealed that in 1899, while in Colorado Springs, Tesla intercepted communications from extraterrestrial beings who were secretly controlling mankind.
I love the statement on the screen right now. This is actually one of my favorite Nikola Tesla quotes. And he says, "Today scientists have substituted mathematics for experiments, and they wander off through equation after equation and eventually build a structure which has no relation to reality." That is exactly what people do now. Exactly. That actually describes NASA to a T, to an absolute T. Everything NASA does is stupid. Stupid in the sense that it has no relation to reality. They don't actually care about getting to a solution. They care about having funding to build something that is dumb. And Tesla knew it back then. Starting to see why he was silenced? Just wait.
Creatures were slowly preparing humans for eventual conquest and domination using a program that had been in place since the creation of humankind, but was now accelerating due to Earth's increased scientific awareness. Now, this is where it starts to get into spookism, and you will realize that the same people who murdered Tesla and confiscated all of his valuable documents, that the most valuable thing they confiscated from Tesla was the voice of Tesla. So when Tesla was murdered, they were able to speak through Tesla and say, well, he said this before he died, and he felt this way before he died. You have to do your research and understand the deception. Whenever you hear extraterrestrial, that's a red flag. It's like a virus on a computer. When the red sign come up, you can go in. It may not be deception, but it's a high chance that it is, okay?
Bingo. Anytime you hear extraterrestrial, it is a big red flag that they are lying to you about something. It could be a look here, don't look there thing. It could be just a complete lack of they're trying to make you feel smart because they're telling you something that's classified. But anytime you hear that term, alien or extraterrestrial or any of that, you are about to be lied to, or the content surrounding it, you are being lied to. Again, I mentioned this earlier, but didn't we just have aliens walking around at a mall in Miami? So everybody's wondering, you know, aliens, they must exist, right? So big universe, if it goes on forever and ever and ever. So if they're finally going to reveal themselves to us for the first time ever, right? You think they're going to be walking around in a mall in Miami? So the immediate question shouldn't be, wow, is there really aliens in Miami? No. The immediate question should be, what else happened in Miami? That should be the question we're asking. And that's why I'm here. I have to try to teach you guys to think that way. By the way, rods of God are very similar to direct energy weapons. The difference is in the application, which we'll get into another time. It doesn't have to be right now.
I do believe in other beings, but I don't believe in outer space. I believe in inner space, and I go into that in a lot of previous videos. But to stay on subject here with Tesla and the alien deception, the deceivers will accredit all of Tesla's work to aliens, as I explained previously, instead of telling us the truth that Tesla didn't receive any communications from aliens. They always want to make it like there's this one divine man who received a message from some hidden deity. In a lot of cases, they use aliens. But really, Tesla knew what the ancients knew, that energy was all around you. And because of that, Tesla would go on to prove the existence of the ether. And the ether is just another word for the ever-present energy that is omnipresent at all times.
Now's the time you want to start paying attention about ether, because he gets into it pretty deep here. And that's going to lead us up to the Q phone conversation and the quantum technology that we're going to talk about later tonight.
We live in a world, unfortunately, that feel the need to prove that presence. So we come up with the testing of the ether. And Tesla proved that there is a supreme intelligence at the root of our reality.
Again, I just like pausing on certain spots here, not to try to interrupt this guy, but I like reading what's on the screen because he does not do it. It says here, Nikola Tesla's greatest discovery was an entirely new kind of electricity. He called it radiant matter, aka dielectricity, radiant energy, impulse electricity, longitudinal waves. Why is it so amazing? His experiments revealed the existence of ether, the ever-present field that connects all things. Let me read that one more time. The ever-present field that connects all things. So let me read that a third time. The ever-present field that connects all things. Ever-present, always there, connects all things, everything. There is a field that connects everything. It goes on to say, it is the non-physical force behind all physical phenomena. It is the non-physical force behind all physical phenomenon. It is the non-physical force behind all physical phenomenon. But it's not physical, meaning it's not this, it's not this, but it's there, and it connects those things. The right-hand side of your screen, it says, it was not his polyphase AC motor, meaning that's not his most important invention. It's the ether engineering time. Infinite energy lay within every inch of ether. Let me repeat that again. Infinite energy lay within every inch of ether. Ancient technologies were all based upon ether. The future revolves around our study of the ether.
Whereas the modern scientists wanted to exclude a deity from science like we have today in this modern matrix. And as we move on, you will see more of this deception. Nikola Tesla wrote about his years of research to interpret the strange radio signals and his attempts to notify the government and military concerning what he had learned, but his letters apparently went unanswered. Tesla spoke in confidence to several of his benefactors, including Colonel John Astor, who owned the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. These benefactors listened to Tesla and secretly funded what was to be the start of mankind's first battle to regain control of its own destiny. So why do I say that there is an alien agenda deception surrounding Nikola Tesla and the plagiarization of his inventions? Tesla was an awesome man. He was a genius. Even though he rediscovered this ancient technology, it was during a modern time that was so far ahead of his time. The fact that he would re-stumble upon this ancient science that many of us are tying into modern metaphysics and all of that today. And we're interpreting this ether, this ever-present energy, this intelligence in so many ways. But it's all hidden in the world religions and heliocentrism. And Tesla knew that. You will know that as we move on and get into Tesla and flat earth. You see, why is it deception to accredit Tesla's great mind to a message from aliens? Because it takes away the fact that he was an awesome man. If you tell me that everything he gave the world come from aliens, then they should get the credit and not Tesla. So again, it's a form of plagiarization. So what?
I'm going to read the quote on the screen again. This is from Tesla again. Electric power is everywhere, present in unlimited quantities, and can drive the world's machinery without the need of coal, oil, gas, or any of the other common fuels. So why are we paying for them? Why do we need to burn oil? Why do we need to burn gas? Why do we need to burn coal? Is that what those things were meant for? Is that why God put those things on earth? To burn them for heat? If electric power is literally everywhere and there is an infinite amount of electricity and power in every inch of ether, why are we burning those things? We need those for heat? Oh, I think I know why. I think I know why we're burning those. I think it's because of money laundering. I think those that own power companies, hence the cabal, if you go ahead and look at who actually owns all the power companies in existence in the world, it's the cabal. You could power everything in this earth with just 1 inch of ether. 1 inch, and ether is everywhere. The ether connects me to you right now. Wherever you are, all those places that I read earlier in the live, we're connected. I remember having a conversation with Carrie about this about 2 years ago. Can't remember where we were driving to, but it was in the car. And she asked me a question. And the question was about something, but it wasn't about this. It was about something. And I said, let me just tell you something. I said, right now, actually, I remember the question. I think she asked me something like, what's the one thing that you found out that just absolutely blows your mind that you never would have thought to be real? And my answer was, everything is connected. Everything is connected in this world. People are connected to each other. You are connected to everything that you physically see right now with your eyes. You're connected to everything you physically see right now in this room around me. And you're connected through the ether. You're connected through quantum energy. Quantum energy is God's energy. It's not from the electric company. Just wait.
About to read to you now is a quote from Nikola Tesla, and this is the quote that a lot of deceivers use today to support the idea that Tesla got all of his knowledge from aliens. And I read, my brain is only a receiver in the universe. There is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I have not penetrated into the secret.
If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That is what the entire world is made up of. Those 3 things and nothing else.
This core, but I know it exists. That first line was taken by deceivers to say that Tesla received his information from aliens. The fact that Tesla said his brain is only a receiver channeling information that's already in your DNA, that's already there. He didn't say he channeled it from aliens. The deceiver said that, not Tesla. So again, speaking for dead men. So yes, Tesla had many documents to support that he was working on aircraft similar to that of the Hitler Vimana. And the fact that he had ties to Hitler and the Nazis shed more light on the Vimana-Hitler conspiracy and show you where the little green man deception come into play. See, the little green men are who they use to hide the ancient truth all the time and to discredit the ancestors. Once
aliens! It's the aliens! Where'd this come from? It's the aliens! Don't tell them it came from the citizens of the future. Let's not talk about them. Where'd those crop circles come from? Aliens! The aliens did it! They're at the mall again! They're shopping! Liars.
We learn the ancient truth about the spiritual technology of the pyramids and the Tesla Tower and the mushroom mythology. Once we realize these simple truths of nature and tap into this one divine energy source, we'll realize that paying for power is silly. The ancients would laugh. They tapped into the infinite power source that was omnipresent. Today we ignore it, and they got us deceived into world religions and pseudoscience as opposed to real science. So people like Neil deGrasse Tyson drop mics. They are not real scientists. Real scientists do experiment.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is a cabal-controlled entity, and his main purpose is to deceive. And I have questions about other people in the truther community that I also think may be on that side too.
They don't tell you mythological stories with a bunch of animations. And I was deceived with that type of deception. But here's a new way today. And those with eyes will see, and those with ears will hear. So understand that if all of...
You know, it's funny you said that, because I've been saying that for a long time. My great resentment, and one of the reasons why I like to sit here and do this kind of stuff, these kind of live streams, and the future Q films that are coming up about this stuff, little hint, is because I was deceived, and I hate it. I hate it. I hate the fact that I gave a dozen years of my life and my childhood to the deception, and I came onto it late. I hate that they did it, and it is my absolute, one of my missions in this whole movement is to make sure that none of you fall for it anymore.
Credit was given to the ancestors, we would also begin to explore their beliefs and their cosmology and everything.
I don't know who my mods are over there on Rumble, but great job. You're doing excellent.
That made them great, and we will become great today. So they intercept that greatness by telling you the ancestors or Tesla and all of these people get the information from aliens. Once we give the information to aliens, they keep us looking up into outer space, and there's nothing in outer space. It's all inner space. There is no space. There's divine energy that's omnipresent. There's a divine supreme being that's omnipresent. There's energy all around you. So they have...
All right, so this big thing flying through space right now is the sun, the big yellow thing. And all those other concentric circles going around it are the pathways of the planets that rotate around the sun. But notice how the stars never move. So if those stars are fixed in those positions and those planets are moving and the sun is going off in a certain direction, if that planet is moving around the sun at that rate, forget the fact that the planet is actually rotating itself. It's a totally different story altogether. But just in the sense that if the planet was not rotating at all, right? And the planet was only going around the sun, how do you always see the same stars in the sky all the time? How could there be a very predictable rate at which the constellations move? We know that they move 1 degree every so often, right? How? Does everyone just stop and ask themselves the obvious? Because this is very obvious that this whole thing that's on the screen right now is nothing but a lie. I mean, it's obvious. Forget about flat Earth. This that's on the screen right now, this is a lie. That sun that you see is going about 500,000 miles an hour in a certain direction into space. 500,000 miles an hour, okay? The Earth is rotating around the sun at 300,000 miles an hour, okay, in its orbit around the sun, And then also, while it's orbiting the sun, it's also spinning on its imaginary axis, 1,000 miles an hour. So you got this ball going around this other ball, right? And it's going real fast around it too, kind of like this. I actually got a really good thing going here. And while all that movement is happening, the sun that it's rotating around is going in a certain direction that way. But yet those stars are in the sky every same night in the same spot. How? Do you have any idea what those stars would look like if all of that movement was happening simultaneously? They'd be like this. They'd be all over the place. It would literally be you would never be able to look up in the sky. You would never be able to look up in the sky. All you would see is you wouldn't even see stuff. You would see it's constant. Hey.
Looking up into the stars, and we've been deceived thinking that we're looking into outer space. The stars are right above your head. Nothing is separated by light years and all of this foolishness that they give us. And as we move on, you will have no choice but to realize that Tesla was indeed a flat earther. And in fact, his technology he used is only
quote from Tesla: "The Earth is an enclosed system." So listen, I don't think you could be picky and choosy if you're a Tesla fan. If you're a Tesla fan, you think that Tesla was the bomb and you're all that, you have to understand that Tesla was a flat earther. So the reason that he believes that the Earth is an enclosed ecosystem is because of what he found.
On a flat earth where we can bounce signals over vast distances and that signal will not be disturbed by any curvature. The cell tower technology is Tesla technology that rules our world today. They tell you they got satellites in outer space, but the only picture you ever saw of a satellite was a paint.
Quote from Tesla, Earth in the middle of the screen: "Earth is a realm, it is not a planet, it is not an object, therefore it has no edge. Earth would be more easily defined as a system environment. Earth is also a machine. It is a Tesla coil. The sun and the moon are powered wirelessly with the electromagnetic field, the ether. This field also suspends the celestial spheres," that's hard to say, "with electromagnetic levitation." What are the celestial spheres? Anyone want to take a guess over there in the chat? This field also suspends the celestial spheres with electromagnetic levitation. What are the spheres that he's talking about? Who wants to get it? Who's going to get it first? Stars? No. Planets? No. God? No. Sun? Moon? Boom. That was from DJ Mind Trip, not to be confused with DJ Idiot, aka Script Keeper. Can't help myself. The spheres are the sun and the moon. And the reason that they are suspended in the sky is because of this electromagnetic levitation. We're going to talk more about levitation later. He goes on to say, electromagnetic levitation disproves gravity because the only force you need to counter the electromagnetic force, let me reread that. Electromagnetic levitation disproves gravity because the only force you need to counter is the electromagnetic force, not gravity. The stars are attached to the firmament. Nikola Tesla. So listen, I'm not really pushing flat earth theory tonight. I push that very hard and I'm going to push it further in the future. But I just want you to know that this is what Tesla thought. And if you agree with Tesla and you think that, whatever your opinion is about him, you have a positive opinion, you have to understand that he firmly believed in flat earth.
Or computer-generated image. You never saw a real picture of one, therefore you believe in something that don't exist other than their matrix. The truth is, everything wireless in our world today.
Bottom of the screen, satellites are a hoax. The only thing that exists is cell towers, aka Tesla towers, aka microcosm tree of lives. The North Pole is the original Tesla tower, built by the Most High. Let me read that again. The North Pole is the original Tesla tower. The North Pole is the original Tesla tower, built by God. It has always been this way.
Achieved by Tesla's technology and ancient technology. These towers are divine, and you will see them all in ancient art, and they are misinterpreting the literature to this art and got you thinking the ancients were some dummies when really they are recreating their matrix with the ancient sciences and hiding them with aliens. So while you go to be deceived in their schools, Tesla knew the ancient truth. Understand that most scholars acknowledge that Tesla's obscurity is partially due to his eccentric ways and fantastic claims during the waning years of his life of communicating with other planets and death rays. So when they was killing this man slowly, everyone get old, but if you research, you will understand he died of asphyxiation. And I will get into that in a minute, but he was clearly murdered. And they had been working on it a while. The very people he was trusting was killing him. So
Tesla was broke at the end of his life. He couldn't pay for anything anymore. He had no money coming in. He was staying in hotels. He had no place to live. He had no home. He was selling his works as a means to live, for food, shelter. And boy, they didn't want that to happen.
they were speaking for him the whole while they were doing so. Because if they really spoke for the voice of Tesla today, everyone would have free.
Tesla was a genius. He spoke 8 languages: Serbian, English, Czech, German, French, Hungarian, Italian, and Latin. Most of us only speak one language, and poorly at that. He can memorize entire books and recite them at will. Let me repeat that. He can memorize entire books and recite them at will. Anyone ever see Suits? Green Mag Boogie? Mike? He can memorize entire books and recite them at will. Most of us can't even remember our passwords. He could visualize devices entirely in his head and then build them without ever writing anything down. Most of us only spend time visualizing things like naked women and greasy sandwiches. Okay, well, I started reading it. I had to finish it. I didn't know what it said until, all right.
Energy. That is the vision of Tesla.
Or men.
But the vision of the aliens that they give you keeps their matrix going and their world of consumerism going.
In the case of Nick, Alvira, men. Because
we are enslaved. So it is now known that many of these fantastic inventions of Tesla are scientifically accurate and workable. It has simply taken mankind this long to catch up to the astonishing ideas of a man who died in.
Now, regarding Nick, I don't care if he's gay, straight. I have nothing against gay people. A lot of gay people that I know are absolutely amazing people. But Nick goes around calling people gay as a derogatory term. And the reason I think he does that is because he's closet gay. And I think it's despicable that he could even utter the phrase gay and get away with it nowadays. If somebody ever said something like that around me, I would literally knock them the fuck out. Sorry about the F word there.
So now we're going to go deep into the rabbit hole and we're going to talk about Nikola Tesla, flat earth, electromagnetism, the tides, and the Schumann resonance. And a lot of this information is going to be coming from a...
All right, we're actually going to stop the video there.
We're going to stop that video there. I have more video for us to watch tonight. But before I get into that, I want to talk a little bit more about ether. And this is going to lead us into quantum technology, quantum energy, and Q phones. And that's going to kind of be the intel part of tonight's live. Ether, as we just heard in the video, is everywhere. It is right there, right now. I got it. It's over there. It's over there. It's right next to you. It's in all space. It's everywhere. In 1908, they took ether off the periodic table of elements. Ether is the connecting force that binds all of us. Do you ever feel like you're in love with somebody? You have a strong ethereal connection to a person. The bond that a son and a father have, the motherly bond that a son and a mother have, or a daughter, that is a very strong ethereal connection. They call it bond nowadays. But really what it is over time, you have developed your ethereal relationship so deeply with that person that you are connected to them. You could be ethereally connected to someone that you've never met. I was. And that's Carrie. The connection that Carrie and I have is literally indescribable. You can't put it into words. There's no way that you could describe it knowing what the modern dictionary has in its arsenal. I know what she's doing when I'm 2,000 miles away from her. I could feel it. I know it. Ether connects all of us, everything, and it always has. And the reason that it connects us and the way that it connects us is meant to be because that's how God made it. You ever hear the term soulmate? You think that's just because like it's a fancy term? No. You're ethereally connected to someone because it was meant to be. You ever heard the term meant to be? You think it was just meant to be, like randomly? Kind of like how we randomly float through space at 500,000 miles an hour. No. I'm not going to say I think it is because I know it is. But if that is true, you could do exactly what Neo just did in that video. In fact, if you're able to harness the power of ether, you could not only, right now I could go, and that hat will just come into my hand. I can't harness ether. I don't know how. Can you do it? Yes. Can you levitate? Yes. The sun and the moon levitate. Do we know how to do it with our bodies without harming ourselves? I don't think so. Have I seen people do it? Yes. Do I know if they were harnessing ether to do it or if my eyes just got tricked in some other manner? No, I don't know. But what I do know is ether connects everything. And what we just saw Neo do in that brief film was very possible in many different regards. Again, please don't go stand in front of bullets. That's obviously not what I'm saying. Unless you know that you could harness and manipulate the ether, don't do that. Okay? I got two more that I want to put up on the screen.
Quantum computing is an exciting field of study.
Just hold on there, Missy.
Quantum computing is an exciting field of study that holds the promise to revolutionize the way we solve complex problems. Unlike traditional computers that rely on bits to store and process information, quantum computers use quantum bits, or qubits, which can exist in multiple states simultaneously thanks to a phenomenon called superposition. This ability to exist in multiple states at once gives quantum
Qubits. Qubits. Quantum bits. Qubits. Like kind of like Q drops. That's interesting. Let's replay that.
store and process information. Quantum computers use quantum bits or qubits, which can exist in multiple states simultaneously thanks to a phenomenon called superposition. This ability to exist in multiple states at once gives quantum computers an incredible advantage over classical computers in certain applications. It allows them to perform many calculations in parallel, vastly increasing their processing power and potentially tackling problems that are currently considered infeasible for classical computers. The concept of quantum computing can be a bit mind-boggling, but let's break it down. Imagine a traditional computer as a room with a series of bookshelves, each.
Imagine a traditional computer like the ones we're on now, device, computer, desktop, phone, whatever, as a room filled with books on shelves. Okay.
Of holding a bit that represents either a 0 or a 1. This binary system forms the basis of classical computing. You can manipulate these individual bits to perform calculations and solve problems. Now,
okay. So in that room filled with shelves and books on the shelves, you can manipulate those shelves and the books by taking a book off the shelf and figuring out an answer. Makes sense? It's much a roundabout way of how a modern computer works. I get that.
Calculations and solve problems. Now, picture a quantum computer as a room filled with qubits. These qubits, represented by subatomic particles like electrons or atoms, can be in a state of 0, 1, or both 0 and 1 simultaneously. This is the essence of quantum superposition. It means that a qubit can hold more information and perform more calculations than a classical bit.
It means that a qubit could hold more information and perform more than a regular bit. Okay. Let's hear her say that again.
Room filled with qubits. These qubits, represented by subatomic particles like electrons or atoms, can be in a state of 0, 1, or both 0 and 1 simultaneously. This is the essence of quantum superposition. It means that a qubit can hold more information and perform more calculations than a classical bit. But what really sets quantum computers apart is their ability to take advantage of another quantum phenomenon called entanglement. Entanglement is like a special connection between certain qubits where the
Entanglement is like a special connection between multiple qubits. Like through ether? Let's hear that again.
Information and perform more calculations than a classical bit. But what really sets quantum computers apart is their ability to take advantage of another quantum phenomenon called entanglement. Entanglement is like a special connection between certain qubits where the state of one qubit is instantly affected by the state of another, no matter.
While the state of one qubit is instantly affected by the state of another. Did you ever hear the old myth that twins, how many of y'all out there are twins? When something happens to one twin, the other twin knows it? How could that be? Do you ever wonder why that happens? Because it happens, it's documented. I mean, it's not like a conspiracy theory or anything like that. It actually happens. Why? Quantum entanglement, aka ether. Quantum entanglement is kind of like a fancy word for ethereal connection. I don't think Tesla used the terms quantum entanglement, but he also used the term death ray instead of rods of God or direct energy weapons. So maybe quantum entanglement is just an ethereal connection.
How far apart they are. It's as if they share some sort of invisible link.
It's as if they share some sort of invisible link. An invisible link like what, ether? It's as if they share some invisible link.
Far apart they are. It's as if they share some sort of invisible link. This entanglement property allows quantum computers to solve certain problems incredibly quickly. For example, factoring large numbers into their prime factors, which is at the heart of many encryption systems, is a task that would take classical computers an incredibly long time. However, quantum computers could potentially solve it in a fraction of the time by utilizing their parallel processing power and exploiting the quantum nature of the problem. Moreover, quantum computers have the potential to revolutionize fields like drug discovery, optimization, and artificial intelligence. For example, they could help us understand complex biological systems and simulate the behavior of molecules with unprecedented accuracy, leading to the development of new drugs and treatments. They could also help optimize
Leading to the development of new drugs and treatments. So let me back up. Quantum entanglement is essentially the same as saying we now have the ability to manipulate the ether. Okay, we know about ether, we talked about ether, we talked about Tesla. See how it's all coming together now in a nice little straight line? Thank you, Phil. You presented it very well. I hear you clapping. Clap. I want you to clap. I can hear it through the ether. So, well, that's going to be the next thing. Phil said he could hear things through the ether. He has a skiff. I know. Anyway, different medical technology because of quantum entanglement. Like what? Like, I don't know what to do here. I'm just going to mute my microphone and I'll be right back, okay? That was my son's, and I'm apologize for making you guys wait, but I will make you wait every time when they call me. So I hope you understand that. So getting back to it, certain types of, they're talking about now, let's actually rewind a little bit and we'll go back to what they said there.
Moreover, quantum computers have the potential to revolutionize fields like drug discovery, optimization, and artificial intelligence. For example, they could help us understand complex biological systems and simulate the behavior of molecules with unprecedented accuracy.
They could simulate the identity of molecules in complex biological schemes, leading to the development of new medical technology. Such as what? Like things for your thumb like this? And look, it has fancy stuff on it. Did you hear that? You can even tighten it or loosen it. Imagine that. How about med beds? So quantum entanglement, also known as ethereal connection, just a fancy way to say an old thing, could lead to med beds. So why is this stuff coming out now? That's something I want to pause on real quick and let's talk about that. Why is this stuff coming out now so that this technology, which has been suppressed, it's coming out and we're seeing all these videos and we're talking about quantum technology and quantum computing and quantum phones and all this stuff. If it was suppressed, why is it coming out now if the people who suppressed it are still in power? Right? Well, maybe the people that suppressed it are no longer in power. That might be it. Now that would make sense, wouldn't it? So this is just a little shove in the right direction to show you that yet again, there's stuff right in front of your face that you may or may not realize, in this case you may not realize, is evidence that the cabal is gone. And all we're waiting for is to roll the credits. The climax in the movie and then the roll the credits.
To the development of new drugs and treatments. They could also help optimize logistics and supply chains, solve optimization problems in finance, and improve machine learning algorithms. While the potential of quantum computing is immense, there are many challenges that need to be overcome before we can fully tap into its power. One of the main challenges is building stable and reliable qubits. Qubits are incredibly fragile and prone to errors, which can destroy the quantum information they carry.
That's a lie, by the way. It's, again, they throw you some truth and then they throw a lie in there saying, oh, we can't do it yet because they're fragile. No, there's no fragile. Qubit is not a thing. It's ether. So it's funny that they call it qubit or Q-drop. Just saying, I don't know where that came from, but it's ether. That's what it is. It's ether. It's not a qubit floating around and it gets entangled with another qubit. It's ether. They're just connected because everything's connected.
Researchers are actively exploring different technologies such as superconducting circuits, trapped ions, and topological qubits to create more robust qubits and improve their error rates.
That's also a lie. None of that is happening. There's no way to improve what's already there. It's there because God put it there. It's ether. The graphic that you see on the screen right now with these little things that are supposed to be Q-drops, excuse me, I mean qubits, see how they're all connected with that web type stuff? That's ether. And that is God's glue that connects all of us and everything together. So they're trying to make it seem like, well, we could, you know, the very, very high error rates, we over here at you know, the science lab could definitely improve this, but we need to have all of your money. Hell out of here. It's just another money laundering thing. It's an excuse.
Another challenge is scaling up the number of qubits. Currently, quantum computers have a limited number of qubits, usually in the range of tens to hundreds. To solve really complex problems, we need thousands or even millions of qubits. Scientists